Blessings. Blessings. Says I have 5 of you, but I only see one. Hey, Sister Tori. How are you? Pray your day went well.
Oh, you gotta turn that down.
All this time it was quiet.
Autumn. Autumn. Turn that down or go upstairs with Daddy.
I'm okay. Last 2 days been kind of rough, but all is well. Thanks for asking. Come on in, come on in. Good to see you guys coming in so quickly. Blessings, woman of God. How are you? How's my little angel over there doing? Appreciate you guys jumping on so quickly. Hey, Dom. Appreciate you. I'm gonna continue. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. She is such the young lady of faith. Yes, she is. She is some kind of special. So last week we were talking on the topic of how can I handle you when I can't handle myself. And one of the definitions that was given was for handle was manage. And so we stayed there for a few moments and we had some good conversation on it. Blessings, Prophetess Shauna. How are you? So last week, that's what we asked. How can I handle you? I can't even handle myself. When I can't even, oh, there we go. And so the topic was real good. People were responding, and we ended on a great note, I believe. And there's another time, I'm not sure whether it'll be before the end of the week or whether we'll take it into next week, but Apostle and I, my bestie, we're going to come on and we're going to talk about blended families. Tonight, I want to do an extended uh, time of discussion on how can I handle you when I can't handle myself, and go further and say, I choose me. I choose me. This is about learning to love ourselves and being all right with saying to somebody, right now, I just got to focus on me. I've been here for everybody else. I remain here as much as I possibly can be. But right now, in this moment, I choose me, my sanity, my mental health, my emotional well being, my spiritual well being. I choose me. Trust me, there are many who want to say that and don't know how it will be received. So they don't say anything, which causes us to go back into some of the former things that we discussed about depression and loneliness and all of those things that when you don't deal with or don't allow your voice to be heard. Because most people, the problem is most people think in order for their voice to be heard, they have to be loud and boisterous. That's not true. You can talk very soft and have even more effect on the situation because of how you handle yourself. And so tonight, as we, like I said, continue in how can I handle you when I can't handle me? And I spelled that word wrong. And I can't even handle me. You fix that for people think I don't know how to spell. People are just that, you know. Never mind. I'll just fix it. Put it up right. I'll do that. So y'all know I know how to spell. I realized I spelled the word wrong. How can I handle me when I can't even handle you? Let me read for some of you who may be on tonight that didn't start out with us on last week. We gave you the definition of handle. I like definitions. I very much like definitions. It says to feel or manipulate with your hands. That part of by which a thing is held, carried, or controlled. The part by which a thing is held, carried, or controlled. And then simply the word manage. All of this is from the Oxford Language Dictionary. And I like those two-letter definitions. The part by which a thing is held, carried, or controlled. That word controlled can go along with manage. How can I manage you when I'm having problems managing myself? And when it's all said and done, finally, I say, I choose me. A lot of times, if you're, well, most of you may not know me. If you're like me, or you have people in your life where you say they are so nice, they are always thinking about somebody else. They're always doing for somebody else. Every time you see them, they tending to somebody else. They're always trying to make somebody else feel good. They're always putting themselves last. You hear these things constantly about somebody, but have you ever considered the fact that they could be saying, how can they expect me to handle all of this and I still don't know how to handle me? Well, now I'm finally saying I'm one of those people that you're always hearing this in a good sense. But now that I decide to say I choose me, now you got a problem. As long as I was helping you maintain, as long as I was being there for you, as long as I was listening to you, as long as I was running around for you, as long as I was giving to you, I was the best thing next to cornbread. Now that I've decided that I need to choose me because my body is talking, my family is lacking, my prayer life needs more attention. I started slacking on other things because I was too busy trying to be there for you. And now I'm saying I choose me, because how can you expect me to constantly be able to handle you? And now I'm losing control of my own self. But you don't recognize that. My body is telling me that. My thought processes as I'm forgetting things because I have so much on my mind concerning others that I'm forgetting the things that pertain to me, which is not healthy. And so now I say, I choose me. I don't know who else would be brave enough to say that tonight. I choose me and be all right with it. This whole thing started with God having me to help others learn how to love themselves, is learning how to unapologetically love the me that I see. And when these things start coming to light, because until I really started reinvestigating who I was before I started having conversation from bestie to bestie about who we are, what we thought of, what it was when we first met, and looking at how we are now and what has happened over the years. And you're able to say, man, who would have ever thought? Who would have ever thought? Who would have ever thought? And blessings. And so now I love you. I care for you. I'm thinking about you. Need me to move over some so you can use it? Is that good? Sorry, y'all. My bestie needs my attention. Yeah. And now that I'm finally saying, you know what? I realize that I am, and for those of you who follow my regular page, I did come on 2 weeks ago and I did a little talk on leading while empty. And so I just want to use that word empty. See, because after you have given everything that you have for someone else, what is then left for you? Who turns around and say, you know what? I saw what you did for so-and-so, and I've been watching you as you do for so-and-so, and I saw how you did this, and I saw how you did that, and I've been meaning to let you know. How many people in that few phrases took time to say, are you okay? We thank God that it's being noticed because it's to God be all the glory. We know glory goes to us, but it's God who gives us the strength and the fortitude to do the things that we're doing. But who and when do they turn around and say, are you okay? Or do you need something? What do you need? I see, sis, I always see you doing so-and-so. Sis, every time I turn around, is you doing da-da-da-da. But never do they finish that statement with that question. Is there anything that we can do for you? Not realizing that at some point, even though we continue to do, we're empty. Empty. Just empty. And because we're so used to doing, we're moving and we think that we got all of this strength until the body says, hello, remember me? Hello, the thing that's got to help you get to all these things that you're doing. Have you taken time for me? And that is something that, and please don't take me wrong and try to twist my words. I am not complaining. This is a realization. It is something that needs to be talked about, because people don't talk about it because they feel like somebody's going to feel like you complaining, or you say you're doing. That's not it. The fact of the matter is it's being done. Fact of the matter is what's not being done is people asking if they need help, if they need someone to do anything for them, if they even need you to pray their joy in the Lord, because the joy of the Lord is our strength. So if we want strength, we want to pray for more joy, right? So has anybody said to you in the last 2 weeks, hey, I noticed something that you were doing, and I noticed how often you've been doing this, and I noticed how you handled this, and I noticed how you were doing this for that person, and I just needed to know if you were okay. Was there anything that you needed somebody to do? Has anybody asked you if you needed anything? Is it because we're too afraid that the answer might be yes? Do we ask questions that we really don't hang around for the answer for because we're afraid it might cause us to have to do something? Things that make you go, When you're doing it and you're doing it from the pureness of your heart, you're not looking for the return, but you would hope and pray that just as you are willing to give yourself to that extent to any one or several beings, that eventually somebody, even if it's not them, paying it forward, or somebody saying, let me go check this out. Let me go make sure that they're good. Let me see what I can do to help them continue doing what they're doing. What we do out of love. So we have no complaint about it. It is a simple question that deserves an answer. It's a statement. How do you expect me to handle you if I can't handle me? And then somebody would say, well, how would I know you're not handling yourself? Because you could ask the question that I'm asking you. You can ask the same questions that I'm asking. It is a reality. It is something that I have noticed. Again, I'm not going to stop doing what I do because I love what I do. My bestie and I get along so well because we love to see others happy. We love to see that smiling face. We love to see that person feeling better about themselves. And so it gives us that push to continue to do it. But in that push, when do we realize that what they're pushing is just a frame because everything else has been exhausted? I'm so busy trying to make sure, or we're so busy trying to make sure that you don't fall down on the job, so busy trying to make sure that you're good and that you're feeling okay about yourself and you're not lacking for nothing and you might not need to, get something done that we can help with. We're always doing that and just want somebody to look over the shoulder and say, you know what? You want something? Can I do this for you? Or you want me to have so-and-so? That would go a long way. Believe it or not, even if you didn't mean it, because most times people don't hang around for the answer. They ask it and they keep on moving. And I was like, well, I wonder if they realize they asked me a question. It's a real place. And so in this hour, not being conceited, not as the scripture said, thinking more highly of myself than I ought to, just considering that myself as a person exists and lives. And in order to continue to do both and not one or the other, I need to learn how to take care of me. Because the more I take care of me, the more I can be there for you. So have you ever, if you would have just like, oh man, like even right now, say, man, I never thought about that. And you get a specific person that comes to your mind right away. And you be like, you know what? I never asked them. I probably should have asked them. I wonder if they're waiting for somebody to ask them. You see how all of those questions equated to that one person that came to mind? I choose me. I can handle you when I can better handle me. And the only way that I can better handle me is to choose me. When I'm tired, I need to say I'm tired and I can't do it today. Sometimes I go and I go and I go. Yesterday I was with my bestie and we was out trying to do business, and before we knew it, I was out, like just wore out, barely able to put one foot in front of the other. So wiped out, the body just shut down. Literally. Home by 4:00, sleep by 5:00. My bestie checked on me about 7 to make sure that I ate something. Thought I was going to be up, fell right back asleep, and didn't wake up again until this morning about 8:00. The body had taken all it could. Going along with the environment of outside, the humidity, it was just a lot, and didn't realize how much. Could hardly keep my eyes open, whether I wanted to or not. I did run a stop sign. I almost had an accident because my eyes were open, but I ain't see nothing. And if my bestie wouldn't have said, stop sign, sugar, we'd have been done. That's how close it was. I'm sure the other person was scared unto life, but yeah. All I could do was thank God. What if we didn't pray like we do every day? We get up every morning and we make sure we pray. Before we do anything else, we pray. What if we had not? In just that moment, God covered us. Covered me. Not wanting to say I can't do it, not wanting to say I'm too tired, not wanting to wonder if somebody else is going to get it done. I never want my bestie to have to wait on anybody to do anything for her. And she tells me all the time, you don't have to do this. I'm supposed to be there for you. She goes, yeah. And she means it. But I don't pay no mind because she knows I'm not going to let her have to want for anything. Hey, T. If I have it in my power to do, she'll never go lacking for it or never have to wonder how she's going to get anywhere. So it was just, it was God. Because I'm telling you, when I look back and play that thing back over in my mind, we just miss one another. All I could see was the lady's face as she turned and looked. Then after that, all I could do was check and make sure my bestie was mentally okay, because I know what it's like to be in the passenger seat. Why am I saying all of this tonight? Because I'm saying I choose me, because I want somebody to understand that it is very possible, with all of your good intentions and with everything in you wanting to do it, that eventually your body says, I just can't do anymore. I need rest. If I'm going to allow you to continue to do what you're doing, I need rest. And if the body needs rest, guess what? Your mental is all out of sorts, because the brain is controlling everything. If you're like me, you're laying in bed and you still got all kinds of thoughts running through your mind about what you could have done, what you should have done, how am I going to get this done? Even when we lay down, our minds are still running like we're walking, and going down the street. So where in those moments is consideration. Sometimes you find yourself running around for individuals while they home chilling. Like they going on to the next thing they got to do, because they done already got you on all of the other assignments. I choose me. Don't you feel like saying that sometimes? When I looked at the word handle and it said manage, and it said something, let me say it right, the part of which a thing is held, carried, or controlled. And then it just says manage. How do we manage ourselves in a way that allows us to live? Do I ever see myself not doing what I'm doing? No. But I have learned that if I want to continue to do that, I have to choose me, which means when the body says it's tired, I need to listen before it puts me in a situation where I have no other choice. If it seems like it's a bit much, there's nothing wrong with saying to somebody, can we do it a little later? Or does it have to be done like right now? Or could you just give me a minute? It's really nothing wrong with that. Whatever it's going to take for you to be your best self in order to do what you're doing, that is what needs to be done. It still goes back to learning how to love yourselves. Sometimes we tend to love harder outside of ourselves. I don't think I know how to not, but it works for me. It's worked all these years. But now my body is saying I can't do what I used to do. And I'm gonna need you to listen a little better. I wouldn't put that on anybody else. Seeing what could have happened and thanking God for how he held it, how he blocked it. Because he did a thing. He blocked that. And so now, when we were thinking about what we could talk about tonight, I couldn't even, honestly spend time today looking or thinking on what could be discussed tonight, because I was still mentally tired. So I had to go lay back down again, listen to my little music, and get myself together for right now. Won't be on here long, but long enough. How can I handle you when I can't even handle myself? I finally have to say, I choose me. Have you ever felt like that? Have you? And then felt guilty about it? Because that's facts. You ever said that and felt guilty about it? I choose me. As much as I'm saying it tonight, that it is something that we need to do at some point or another. Are you like me? When you feel guilty saying that because you feel like you should be able to do more, or you want to do more and just can't, and is wearing you out trying to figure it out? Because sometimes our thought processes on how we're going to get things done wears us out more than walking down the street or walking up some stairs or, shoveling some snow. Sometimes just the things that we're thinking about at the moment become so overwhelming that just the thought of those things wipes you out mentally. You're just drained. Like you're wondering, how come I'm so tired and I haven't gone anywhere? Just from the mental. Like, I know I got to do this, and I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I made arrangement for this, and I don't know how that's going to come out. And I know this is due next week. And so I'm still trying to figure this out. And I know that we got to do this, and we know that we can't count on people the way that people can count on us. And so now you're still trying to figure out what ifs. And by the time you go through all them scenarios, you are really wiped out. So when do you choose you? When do you decide that you're just as important as the next person? Because sometimes that's what it is. You put more importance on everyone and everything else but you. I've watched my bestie do it. I've watched my daughters do it at some point or another without a thought. It just is. But at some point, you have to acknowledge that this is a lot. This is just a lot. As I say to my bestie, a lot. And even though with knowing that and being there, sometimes you just like, I gotta stop and I just gotta figure this out. Because if I don't hurry up and get me together, Tanasia says, sometimes I just be done. That's how I be feeling, like my brain be burnt out. My head be hurting. I don't know how I'm going to take care of everything. Finances jacked up. It's just crazy. And that's a reality of a lot of people, Tanisha. That's the reality of a lot of people. And some people, if you're like myself, my bestie included, when you're just used to going without so somebody else can have, now you're at that situation where you wish somebody would do that for you right now because everything is on zero. Like you've exhausted all your possible resources to help somebody else, and now that you really need it, you can't go get it because you already used it for somebody else, and you're wondering, is anybody? Like, they wonder how come I'm so tired, because mentally I am just drained. Tired of trying to figure the pieces to the puzzle. And I love doing puzzles. But sometimes you just like, okay, let me just woosah. And so woosah might be a day. Woosah might be a couple of hours. Woosah might mean 15 minutes. And that 15 minutes means the world to you because you ain't used to having no spare time. It's like you wake up, and from the time you get going, you don't stop until it's time to lay down, and then it's time to get up and do it all over again, and you still never had a chance for you because you were too busy trying to accomplish what everybody else needed done. So yes, Tanisha, I totally can get where that's where you are. Like, I'm just done. Like please, I hope nobody don't ask me nothing else because I don't even have room for it. I am done. Like, I'm about to fall, and yet I'm still trying to keep it moving. It's a real place. And yes, and then when your finances are jacked up and you're like, wait, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. And it's not just I got to do this, but I got to do this by. It's like you already have set dates. Hey, Shay. And so, yeah, it's very possible. Shay says she's guilty of it herself. My agitation be on 100. I believe it. And then we have to like tell ourselves to calm down, or stop taking it so seriously. But how do you not, if that's just who you are, and being there for people is what gives you the greatest joy, and for whatever the reason you can't give it in the way that you would like to give it kind of does something to you. Well, I mean, for me. And my bestie loves to make people happy. She likes to put a smile on their face. Usually she does that by hair, but now that she got this creative juices with her business, she just, she hear you say something, she think of something. Next thing you know, it's right in front of you because she just wants to see that smile on your face. She wants you to know that somebody thought about you today, that despite what you were going through, somebody actually had you on their mind. And so at what point when you look at those things, when I look at how my bestie overextends herself business wise, because she just doesn't want to tell anybody no, overextends herself, driving herself around like it's crazy, trying to get stuff done. And you just want to know if somebody's going to say, you know what, take this as a tip, because I know that it would have cost me more than this to get it done this quickly with somebody else. Wouldn't that be awesome? That would be so awesome if somebody took into account the fact that they asked you to do something last minute. And instead of asking for even a more better discount, you say, let me give you a tip, because I realized that I would have to pay that extra if I went anywhere else. If I ordered it through anybody else, I'd have to pay shipping and handling. And if I needed it too soon, I would have to pay for expedited shipping, which is almost a $20 jump. So it's like I look at it every day. What I'm talking about tonight, I see in action every day. Like by the time my bestie get finished, she do good to stand up. And you just want somebody to say, thank you. And I might not have it today, but I guarantee you by Friday, I'll have something extra for you. Can you imagine if just 2 people said that? That's 2 more than anybody ever does. And nobody looks at it that way. Everybody sees it as, oh, well, it's just so-and-so, or they should know. They know what I'm dealing with. No, but you want us to know what you're going through, but have you considered that we might be going through? Maybe that's the reason why I do so much. Maybe that's the reason why I do so many of the same things in one day, because I finally now choose me. I used to feel guilty about wanting to do something for myself. And I don't know when it clicked or when that light went off. Some years ago, when I was in college, they said something about paying yourself. I can't even remember the course. My God, that's how long ago it was. But it was like you got to learn how to pay yourself. Yes, bills are due. Yes, there's a lot going on, but you need to take that one time or that one moment in the week, in the day, and just pay yourself. And that might mean, for my besties, some very colorful footies or some more shirts. It's always business. It's never for her personal. She gonna do better. And then sometimes you say, oh, well, I'm just gonna get this dress. Well, what you buying that for? Nothing, just for me, just because. So because I don't have anybody else, just because of me, I have to just because of myself. And it's okay because I choose me this week. I choose me today. So when we're talking about handling and when we're talking about managing, we have to do what's best at its best. Now Shay is on here and she know we get on her all the time. This girl will never say no. And so we get on her all the time. Shay, just say no to somebody. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say you don't feel like it. And she just look at you. She's like, okay. And she never says no. And then we got beat her up because she be wearing herself out, trying to be all things to all people at all times. We have those people in our lives. And when do we turn around and say, hey, is there something I could do for you? because I see you. That's another thing that most people would want to talk about. I see you. Do you? Do you see me? Do you really see me? I'm just saying. I had to look at my phone because some of y'all I can't see. But Apostle Puglia, so how? Just tell me how. I'm waiting for y'all to answer that question. Some of y'all are talking, some of y'all are looking, but I want somebody to tell me. How do I handle you if I can just barely handle me? Tanasia says, my brain hurt just thinking about it because I'm the worst at saying no.
My brain always hurts. Y'all together, bring it together.
Apostle said, your brain always hurting. Tanasia, get it together. That's what she said. That's what she had just said. But I mean, for real, like real talk. Some of y'all that's on here and just looking, give us some answers, give us some feedback. Thank you for those of you who are. She's laughed. She sent a bunch of laughing faces. Because honestly, like I said, with my episode from yesterday, if you don't take a moment and choose yourself, it can really prove to be deadly, honestly. It really could. Body mechanisms, all of those things that go on while you're starting to be tired and wiped out and drained, the palpitations, the lightheadedness, the stumbling. Tanasia is talking. Shanae is talking. Who y'all at out there? Y'all know y'all listening to this conversation because I just turned this phone sideways and saw half the people that had signed on. You still here, Dom? I know you said blessings. You still here? So we find ourselves not considering ourselves, trying to look between my phone and my laptop. Some of y'all on the regular page, and some of you are on the Loving to Me I See page. And I told you I'm not going to be on here long. I came in the house. I didn't even continue to do what I was doing with my bestie because my body said no more. And we're starting to learn, we're trying to learn to listen to our body. And I knew that if I wanted to come on at all tonight, I needed to come in and rest. And so it's just, it's bad when your body don't know how to function on normalcy when it comes to your body and your heart rate and all that. But when everything is high, you seem to be all right. That is so crazy that your body does not. What is this? So yes, we are not going to be on here long tonight at all. I promise you. These past few days have been crazy for me health wise, and I still kept on trying, kept on moving till finally the body said no more. And I'm trying to help you not do the same thing. I want you to learn to choose you. When your body starts letting you know that it's a bit much, or even that you need to slow down. For me, probably if I would have just slowed down, I could have. But I just if I'm moving, I want to get things done while I'm up and then the body says, yeah, no, you can't do that no more, girl. You know what's going on in here? And so we got to listen one way or another, and I choose to live. So therefore, I have to choose me. And it's not always the easiest thing to do, nor is the most comfortable thing for me, because I like to do. So the fact that I got to keep on saying, well, who's going to take you to do this? Well, I don't want nobody to have to do that. And yeah, because you want to make sure that things are done for other people. But now at this stage of the game, it's time for you to say, well, what am I going to do for me? How am I going to treat me better? Because a lot of our blessings, Prophetess Kristen, a lot of us are worn down, like just from life, period. Things that we've gone through, things that we're experiencing during the day that we don't know who we can talk to about, or we don't know how to begin a conversation concerning it, because we are already ahead of ourselves with how people are going to respond to what we're saying, or how people are going to nonchalantly deal with what we feel is important. Shanae says, I've always been that way. It's just so hard for me to sit still. We're going to work on you. We're going to start tying you down. Every time we see you get ready to get up, Sister Missionary Shanae. Every time she get up, Missionary Shanae, come here, sit down, honey. But sometimes it's just, you just want to make sure that everybody's good. And there's nothing wrong with that. What we're saying is now it's time for us to start considering ourselves. And it's not an easy thing to do. I'm telling you, I'm being honest and transparent. I don't like just sitting. I don't like just being. I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something. So if there's a set amount of time, I'm like, oh, well, did I forget an appointment, or were we supposed to go? I'm always saying, and it's like you don't give yourself a moment to be okay with doing nothing. You feel like every moment of the day has to be filled with something. And then when you do finally take that time for yourself, I don't know if you're like me, but the body, the way that it starts to talk once you start relaxing and those muscles start chilling, and it lets you know how much you were doing for how long. And, it's kind of like saying, you better not ever do that to me again. Those things when your body says it's just not there anymore. You have to realize that with what things are added into your life on a daily basis for just your personal, sometimes it means that you're going to now have to decrease in that area for somebody else, and you have to be all right with that. You have to not feel guilty about having to say, I got to choose me right now. You have to not feel guilty about saying my health is important. You have to not feel guilty about saying, I give me 10 or 15 minutes. I can do it, but I just can't do it right now. So if you need it done right now, you might have to ask somebody else, because I really need to take this 15 minutes. It goes all the way back to me telling you about making a date for yourself. 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour. That's our goal. Ultimately, our goal is to find an hour for ourselves somehow throughout the day, even if it's not one straight hour, but throughout that day, 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. But it has to be a date that you can keep with yourself, that you can just allow yourself to be in yourself, in your moment, dealing with you. It might be a prayer time. It might be a time of just quiet and darkness. It might be a time of darkness and music, good music, enlightening, uplifting music, like jazz or something like that. Not that old suicidal stuff that's talking about you being tired and all that. No. Get a waterfall. I invested in a music light that as the song plays, the water's jumping up, and it's a beautiful sound with the water jumping up and the waterfall coming down as the music is. Look, I'm doing it with my hands like you guys can see it happening. But I had to do something for me, something that, and when I'm doing that, I don't, because normally I'll go in my room as soon as I go in, I turn on the TV because I don't want to turn on the whole light. But now what I'll do is I'll just go in there. Blessings, Minister Malik. I'll go in my room and I won't turn on the TV. I'll turn on the music because I can hear the water, and it does something to allow me to take that time for me. There's nothing wrong with you saying, I choose me. And it took me a very long time to get there. Most of you know my age. So it took me a very long time to get there. And I don't want it to take that long for you to get there. I want you to know now that it's okay to say, I need a minute, or give me a minute, or is there any way you can ask somebody else to do it? Because I really, need to do XYZ. Sometimes that XYZ might mean I really need to fulfill this nap time. I really need that so that I can regain some strength to continue on with what I already have to do. Because see, this is added stuff. This is that thing, those people who feel like you're just sitting around waiting for them to ask you to do something, because they call you and they don't ask if you're busy. They just, boom, I just want to know if you could do this. They didn't say, oh, how you doing? Are you busy? Am I taking you away from something? See, we ask those kinds of questions, but it's not always asked. And so sometimes it's good to say this to the people on the other end. I'm doing okay today. Watch how it stop them in their tracks. Because they're going to be like, well, I ain't asked them that. Exactly. We've gotten so accustomed to just asking people to do things for us, and they do it, that we never take the time to say, hey, are you all right? Not much. Just, hey, are you all right? Because basically, when it's all said and done, like I said, when you're at mental exhaustion and everything, and your body is done crashed, and there's nothing else left in you for the moment, how can I handle you when I can't even handle myself? I don't even know how to tell myself to stop. I don't even know how to tell myself it's too much, because I just keep going, because I want to be there for somebody. I want to do this for somebody. I want to make sure this doesn't go lacking. And then I want to always make sure that my bestie is good. That's going to be forever and always. You good? You need something? And sometimes she say no because she knows if she say yes, we going to get up and do it. So now she goes lacking because she doesn't want to take me out. And then I'm fussing because why would you let me lay down if you know you need this done? It's got to get done. I choose me. That's where I am right now. I don't know how long I'm gonna be here because I'm just not used to not doing things. But at this particular moment, with life being the way that it is helping me to understand that I need to slow down just a little bit. Trying to be everywhere, trying to be all things to all people, because I don't want anybody to feel like they're not important. I don't want people to feel like, nobody ever has time for them. I don't want people to feel like, they got to go to somebody else and I'm right here. I love being there for people. So that's never going to change. And so, you just have to finally say, I choose me, and not feel bad about it. I'm working on it. And not feel bad about it. I choose me. Simple as that. Not being funny, not trying to be shady, nothing. Just, I choose me. And depending on how you say it, might be the reason why your responses are different. There's nothing harsh with I choose me. I choose me. And, no, I choose me. What do you mean by that? I can right now. I would love to do XYZ for you, but I really need this time for me right now. If you could give me, 15 minutes, or if it does it have to be done right now? That's a good question. Does it have to be? And you're hoping that they're gonna tell you the truth. Does it have to be done right now? And if they say no, it could be like, okay, well, can you give me that time? I just need to do XYZ, or I just need to take this time for me, and I'll call you when I'm on my way and we can make it happen. It's not saying no to them. It's just saying, before I take care of you, I need to handle me. I need to manage me. That's what handles, the definition for handle was manage, controlled. I need to get me under control. I need to manage my feelings. I need to manage my psyche right now. I need to manage my house. I need to manage my bills. I need to manage my errands, because I keep on putting them further and further behind, because I keep trying to make sure I'm getting everybody else's done. And at the end of the day, their things are complete and you're left with a box of incomplete. And now you're stressing on how you're going to get it all done in good timing. That's a stress that you shouldn't have to go through. I choose me. Little old me. I choose me. And right now, I know that there are people looking to me to be their support. And if I don't take care of myself, now I got somebody else's life in my hands. Because there's always somebody we don't know that's watching us, that's looking up at us, that's seeing us as a role model, that's wondering how we getting through everything. How come they always smile and yet we know this is their testimony? How are they able to pray for somebody else when we know their testimony? How are they able to go hard like that for somebody else? And even though you might be saying, how do they? You never ask them, is there anything I can do? Can somebody do something for you for all that you do for everybody else? Is there anything you want? Is there something you like and you're not able to get it right now? Maybe we can help you get that. Is there somewhere you need to go? Oh, well, you don't have to drive. I'll take you. It's the little things. But for right now, I choose me. And it might cause some people to get upset because I'm not moving as fast or as often as I used to. But because I know what I'm dealing with, I choose me. Something that I have never done for years. And I finally realized that I can choose me and still be in right standing with God. I can choose me so that I can live longer as I'm requesting of the Lord. Why ask for longer years if you're going to wear yourself out before they get here? I choose me. I choose me. Something is not. What did I do?
What's wrong? The plug came out?
Yes. Thank you. I can't tell which one is Sorry guys. I think I unplugged myself. Thank you. Whatever. You know what I mean. Okay, so that, yeah.
You gotta go to the bathroom? Go ahead.
Did I do that? I can't tell whether she's charging. Yeah, so as we learn more, that's one.
It's still no more?
No. Oh, there it is. I was unplugged. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do a conversation on that. Unplugged. So yeah, that's all I wanted to come on and say tonight. Nothing long and spooky and all that stuff. Just that as I learn more about myself, I try to not be stingy with telling somebody else you might need to do the same thing, because people won't. Pastor Tracy was on here. I didn't even see her. Shoot. People will continue to use you for as long as you say yes. They're not going to say, "You dude, you need to take a break," or "You want me to ask?" They're not going to do that. And so you have to choose yourself. If you want to continue to live, if you want to be the best you that you can be, you have to start choosing you. Now, don't get ridiculous with it. Don't get disrespectful with it. And make sure you know when you should be saying it. Because one thing I don't think I ever told my leader no. I was trying to, like, from 13 up, I've always been serving someone, and I don't think I've ever said that. Now that I'm thinking about it, wow. Never really said I can't do it right now. I always dropped what I was doing, to make sure that things got done when it was asked of me or required of me. And I've learned, like I said, in my latter years, learning that it's just as important that I get me together as it is that I be there for someone else. Jesse's texting me. So yeah, you gotta learn how to choose you and be all right with that. All right. So it is after 10. I know we normally go a little longer, but like I said, these last these last 2 days has been very rough. And I had to lay down for a good little bit today in order to be able to do as much as I did with you all tonight. So here's another moment where I choose me. The body says it's enough. And so we're going to end here. We love you all. We believe in you. We trust that, God will continue to bless and keep you and allow you the strength that you need to get things done. Thank you for always meeting us here on Wednesday nights. Thank you so much for letting us know that love is what love does. And so we appreciate you. You coming on gives us a little more strength to do it the next time. So we say thank you. My bestie is braiding here, so I don't know if you guys can hear her, but she can at least say hello and good night to y'all or whatever she want to say. But she's in the room, guys. She's in the room. Right, bestie?
Hi. I hope they heard it.
Did y'all hear that, sweetheart? I don't know how she thought it was going to come all the way over here. I know she said it because I'm in the room with her. Shanae says she loves us both.
Love you.
And so, good night. We are yet praying for you, Shay, and as you travel, we're praying for you. But yes, choose yourself, which means not being disrespectful or anything like that. Hey, Tori, you still here? Good night. Not being disrespectful, but just learning to choose you. There's nothing wrong with asking whoever's asking you to do something. It's all in how you do it. Is it something that has to be done right now? If they say yes, then do it. Don't be like, oh, well, I choose me, so don't do that. That's something I would do. And so I've gotten much better over the years. So what I'm saying to you is when someone asks something of you or you've been given an assignment, first of all, when you've been given an assignment, find out what the deadline is so you know what you're working with and make sure that you check in so nobody has to check you. Then if it's something where somebody's asking you to do something for them, hey, did you need it done right now? Because I really needed this moment. I was, doing some me stuff right now. And they're either going to say yes or no. They're going to say yes or, well, it doesn't have to be right. When they go through all of that, that means they really want you to do it now. But because you asked if it had to be done now, they're trying to be respectful. So learn how to read between the lines. But for the most part, choose you. Whatever's going to allow you to be your best self. whatever's going to allow you to have the best energy and strength for yourself, whatever is going to allow you to be the best you when it comes to the things of God, whatever it is that's going to allow you to be who you need to be at the moment you need you to show up the most. Learn how to choose you. As leaders, it is a very difficult place to be. It is a very difficult place to be, because as a leader in your mind, you're already saying, well, I got to be here for the people. They expect me to be here. They don't understand that I have a life and family too sometimes. They see what they need. They come to me because I'm supposed to be that, and I try to jump right into that role. And I say I'm talking about leaders everywhere. Those leaders that are on hand leaders, that are tangible leaders, those leaders that like to be there, those leaders who like to be a part of the solutions in your life. Sometimes it's hard for us to choose ourselves. And sometimes it takes sickness or illness for us to realize that we should have chose ourselves a little bit sooner than we did. So learn what works for you. Learn your body. Study your movement. No, because I can tell when I'm moving that it's not going to be a long day. Or my bestie will say, uh-oh, you're going down. Let's get you in the house. And that's somebody who observes the people. You observe what you love. And without me having to say anything, she observes enough to say, hey, we might have some other things we got to do, but it's more important that we get you in the house, because that's what's going to enable us to do the rest of the things that we need to do. So you have to learn how to choose you and learn when to choose you. All right? So we love you guys. I hope y'all heard my bestie say hi. She did speak. She's doing what she does best next to t-shirts. She's braiding hair, her first love. She's always done that. That makes somebody smile. That's what she believes, and she'll go without trying to make someone else smile. So I love her for that, and we have that in common, and that is why we get along. We work each other's nerves for the same reasons too, but for the most part, we get along. So how can I handle you when I can't handle myself? So right now, I have to choose me. And if I promise you, if you can allow me to choose me, the me that shows back up for you will be much stronger, longer lasting, and more patient. So allow me to choose me for now. That's what your leader is saying sometimes. Allow me to choose me for right now. Don't beat me up because I want to be human for the moment. Because I want to act like I have a life. Because I want to act like I have a family that has to share me with you at all times. Allow me to choose me. And I promise you won't regret it. Because the better me to me, the better me for you. So think about that. Think about that. Even in friendship, make sure it's a give and take. Don't always be taken and never give anything back. My cousin Michael says, always leave more than when you came with. When you leave, make sure more is staying behind. So, all right, guys. This is like door number 7, I think. So, 7 is the time of completion. So, we say good night. We love you. Meet us here next week. I don't know how. I'm going to see if my bestie will decide on a topic for next week so she could do most of the talking and I can sit back for a change. Probably not. She going to choose something though, but I probably won't sit back. You going to choose you? But Bessie says she going to choose her. So, good night, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. Be careful. Take an umbrella with you for the rest of the week because the rain is off and on, and so you don't want to be caught undone. So take an umbrella with you. It's not supposed to be bad for us here in the Lehigh County. It's not supposed to be bad during the day. It will be harsh at night, but not bad during the day. We praying for Jersey on Saturday. It is a chance of rain, but because we're going to be on the ground, we should be all right because we're going to have the bouncy house and the tent and all that other kind of stuff. So we'll see. I don't know what the rain date's going to be if not, but until then, stay safe, be wise, be careful, be prayerful, remain humble, and watch what God does for you. Strength be unto you for the rest of your week. Don't forget to pray. Don't forget to ask in his name. It's Bible. Don't forget to ask in his name. Even for those of us who believe in the Trinity, we got to ask in Jesus' name. All right? So don't be so deep that you can't get your blessing. All right? Good night. Love you.